the cities, but most of all, it was the people. Definitely. Arizona, hot as balls, YOLO. I know it. Favorite meal on carnivore is ribeye, of course. But let's get started with the content, okay? The calm hand. Let's talk about the calm hand. Many years ago, and this is going to be kind of a short broadcast, and I am accepting super chats because this is one of the things that I do for a living, and I don't work for free. So if anyone feels led and you also feel that you benefited from stuff and you believe in the mission of what I'm doing, don't hesitate to give. When I worked in the mental health field for 22 years, I remember one of my first jobs in the mental health arena. I worked as a therapist right out of graduate school. And I worked with severely mentally ill people. And when it comes to people who have few limits, one of the most important things you can do is contract with people. You contract with them not to hurt others. You contract with them to not do self-harming acts, cutting themselves or slamming a bottle of their medication and then, chasing it with beer, and then they end up, or liquor, and then getting their stomach pumped out, and I used to work suicide hotlines, 800 numbers where people would call telling me they want to end their life. And it was a very stressful line of work as I was a therapist for 22 years. Professionally trained. And that was before I was cutting hair full time. One of the things I would do is contract with people for safety, contract with people for goals, contract with people for appropriate behavior. And I'll never forget, I was working in a clinic and there was a very, very large man. Huge guy. I'm not a little guy. I'm 5'11". Those of you that have met me in person, I'm not a little man. And, I'm pretty strong and solid. This guy, here's my shoulders. This guy's shoulders were like this. Literally, he was literally 6 inches wider on each side than me. A neck like this. Huge guy. He looked like a refrigerator with a head. If you put a pumpkin on top of a refrigerator, that's how he looked. And I'll never forget, he was having a psychotic episode. And he was throwing chairs and people were getting hurt. This was at a clinic that I worked at. And what happened was staff ended up being around this guy, literally circling him, which makes someone who's psychotic a little more paranoid because I think people are out to get them and so forth. And I will never forget walking into the clinic after hearing all this, and there were some people who had busted heads and they were bleeding and stuff, and the staff were all around this. Even some of the staff were getting thrown around by this guy. I'll call him Tom. And I walked into the clinic area in the waiting room where Tom was. And I stood in the corner and I said, "Tom!" And he was lashing out like he was possessed like a demon. Like literally like throwing shit, just like, like doing that. And I said, "Tom!" And all of a sudden he stopped. And I said, the hand, remember the hand? And he looked and he kind of calmed down. And I walked through the crowd and I parted the crowd like the Red Sea. I said, "Tom, take the calm hand." And he was like this. I said, "Tom, take the calm hand. Go ahead, reach out, take the calm hand." He reached out, grabbed my hand. I went like this. He went like that. I said, follow me to my office. And I guided this refrigerator of a man back to my office. Sat him down. We had a talk. Now let me preface this story. 1 year earlier, when I did the intake and brought this man into the clinic, one of the things that I did was, I said, I don't tolerate violence. I don't tolerate anyone hurting themselves or hurting other people. And if you feel that way, I have a calm hand here that's going to help you calm yourself. It's going to bring you stability. And I would say to the new client, shake my hand. And they'd shake my hand. I'd say, it's calm, isn't it? I would say it is. Now, you have to contract with me that when I extend to you the calm hand, you're going to calm down. You're going to feel the calmness in my hand. It's going to go to your head. It's going to go to your heart. And you're going to listen to me. Will you give me permission to extend the calm hand to you? We can't go any further if I can't get that promise from you. Everyone, for fear of going off, getting psychotic, violent, being locked up in a mental institution, would say yes. Yes. Fast forward 1 year later, Tom might have missed his medication for a few days. Thought people were talking about him. Throwing chairs. Crazy! Violent! And I walked in, take the calm hand. And the savage beast went from absolute nuts, crazy, violent, volatile, to being calm. And he sat in the chair in my office. Put your hands on your lap. He did. Fold your hands. He did. Tell me about what's happening right now. What are you feeling? What are you thinking? What are you experiencing right now? And he did. He told me. He missed his medication for several days. He was getting very paranoid, homicidal, wanted to hurt people because he thought people were out to get him. What saved him? The calm hand. It's the power of suggestion to people in your life. Do your hands calm people? Hands can pet a cat, scratch a dog's ear. Hold the girlfriend's hand. Put your hand around her waist. When she's scared, you hold her a little bit tighter. When she's feeling frisky, these hands can bring her pleasure. These hands can make food that many people can enjoy. These hands can defend. Hands can love. The same hand that holds a baby can defend a family. Hold a firearm. Hold a door. Hold people back. And extend a calm hand. Not everyone has a calm hand. It's a contract that you do with people. So in your relationships, now what is that? You might be saying, how does that relate to me? I remember saying to a girl once, what do I provide for you? What do I provide for you? She says, strength and calmness. And there was that word again, calm. Calm. Can you imagine men? I'll talk to the men for a second. Can you imagine being in a relationship that gets a little bit heated sometimes and volatile? And ahead of time, and we've all flown off a little bit in fights. Not everybody fights clean, right? Sometimes we fight dirty and say stupid things, and we say things that we don't really mean, things that are hurtful. Or people that we are arguing with can do the same. And they feel out of control. Did you ever feel stupid after getting in a fight and say, oh God, what did I say? I can't believe I said that. But you're too proud to go and apologize for it. I've done it. I think all of us have. We're all guilty of that. But can you imagine getting into an argument with your girlfriend or your wife, and she is just flipping out on you, flipping out. And the more you argue, the louder you get, the louder she gets, the more the arms start going everywhere, and things get thrown, and doors get slammed, and drawers get slammed, and things get thrown off of tables. People lose control, even the best do. And you, as one of my followers, are the proud owner of a calm hand. Can you imagine being in a fight with your woman and saying to her, just quietly say, take the calm hand. Take the calm. Get that hand away from me. Take the calm hand. Stick your hand up your... Take the calm hand. The calm hand only works if there's a contract. It only works if there's a contract, which means that you actually have to say this. When I extend the calm hand to you, the rule is that you have to take it. And if I'm going off, you extend the calm hand to me. And I have to take it. The rule is I have to stop and take the hand. Can you imagine that? How much better would relationships be? And you could even make a joke about it. You're at the dinner table, you're arguing or something like that, and all of a sudden one of your kids says, Daddy, the calm hand. You come home and you have a bad day at work, and one of your family members or your girlfriend or your wife says, remember the calm hand. Can you imagine your wife, you have a bad day at work and your wife or girlfriend, you're just like in a real bitch of a mood, and she comes up to you and says, do you need the calm hand? What a beautiful thing. So talk about the calm hand. Talk about the power of the calm hand. The calm hand can part the Red Sea of anger and bring peace, and the waves can settle. They can be quiet. And even just 5 minutes of quiet can dial it back to calmness and peace and common sense and rational thinking. Because anger short circuits everything. You saw my video. Anger is the ramen noodle of emotions. It's so easily accessible. Try the calm hand in your relationships. See if it can diffuse or soothe the savage beast. Does it have to be all clinical? Absolutely not. What it can be is a way of bringing peace to your household, and it can almost be funny. Like I said, can you imagine yourself losing your temper at home and your girlfriend says, Your wife or your kid says, "Daddy, do you need the calm hand right now?" Your child is crying if you're a parent. The best discipline is a calm hand. Peaceful parenting. Important. That's my teaching about the calm hand technique. I hope you benefited from it. Go back and watch this video. And I invite you to explore all of the different facets of this channel as I give you some expertise and things to make your life better. And I wasn't answering any questions or seeing any of the chats in the past 20 minutes. So I apologize for that, but I wanted to get the teaching out and not have to respond. I wanted to say hello to everybody by name and region and city, if I could, in the first few minutes there until we got to the magic number. I hope you benefited from this. Remember the calm hand. It works. Thanks for watching.